thing that I found funny with this new Runeslayer update is everybody's talking about Vampire and Infernum and Seraphim, but no one's actually talking about Dullahan. And in my opinion, it's probably one of the best, if not the best, race for PvP in the game right now, but this video is definitely going to help you guys decide. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty boys, so at this point you may be wondering, is this just going to be a Dullahan showcase? No, it will not be just a Dullahan showcase. I'll actually be showcasing the abilities and passives as well as a build that I made with it. I progged a Swordmaster level 1 through 50 using the race, so I kind of know the ins and outs and also some tech that you can do with it. And hey, I'm going to explain that all later, but first off we're going to go ahead and look at the abilities and passives that the race now has to offer after the rework. Like I mentioned earlier, Dullahan has 3 passives. From worst to best, I'd say it goes Undead Body, Grim Reaper, then Undead King. Now let me explain what each one does. The first one, Undead Body, it does minus 10% Holy Resistance, because you're like undead, you take more damage to Holy, plus 25% Robustness, which is resistance to Frostbite and Hemorrhage, and then plus 25% Cold Resistance. So this passive wasn't too insane before the update, but now after the update it's actually quite helpful because the cold resistance gives you that cold resistance you need without having to wear the required armor or lantern. The second passive is called Grim Reaper, heal a small amount of health after killing a monster. This one honestly doesn't sound too crazy, but from experience I heal like 300 something health for every monster I kill, plus this ability also heals you when you kill players, so it can be very good for PvP. The final passive, which is actually a new one, is Undead King, and it gives you plus 5% magic power, plus 5% attack power, and minus 5% damage reduction. Hey, in my experience, the plus damage and like an equal amount of damage reduction taken away, it's not that big of a deal, because if you bind it with a class like Swordmaster, you have so much armor, it doesn't even really matter. But yeah, that's all the passives, and now let's get into the abilities. To start us off for the abilities, we're going to be checking out Severed Sight and Soul Harvest first, and then finally Death Imbue. So for the changes that have happened to Severed Sight, basically how it works now is it matches the damage of your M1s, so I'm going to go ahead and showcase that real quick. Do mind the Coconut Crab does have like resistances, so it takes less damage, but as you can see, 25 damage in M1, and then I'm going to move back a little bit here. And Severed Sight, 23. So yeah, it's way more damage than it used to do. It literally used to do like 10 damage. It wasn't like any at all. So not only does that make the ability a little bit more useful, it's also useful in the build that I'm going to show in a minute. But for the next ability, Soul Harvest, the changes that have happened to this are basically they've made it so it does more damage, and not only that, it also does lifesteal now. So as you can see right there, about 16 damage a hit. And then I actually did happen to get the Death Sickle passive. I didn't talk about that passive earlier, but it's a random chance with Soul Harvest to transform it into another ability, but I'll showcase that real quick too. Okay, so that didn't really hit it at all. Let's try to get Death Sickle again. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, so you can see like 4, 4, 4, 4, 16, and then you get the same lifesteal. And then now for the new ability that they've added to Dullahan is Death Imbue, and basically your basic attacks now inflict physical and unholy damage. That's what it reads, and it costs 35 mana to use, so it's nothing crazy. So yeah, I was doing 25 damage in M1 earlier, and now I'm doing 34 damage in M1 in total with physical and unholy damage. So you can see the difference in damage there, 25 to 34. It's a 9-point difference, which is actually pretty massive. Yeah, so that's basically everything for the abilities. So let's go ahead and suit up, and then I'll show you guys what this build looks like when it's fully fleshed out. And there we are, boys. How about that? Someone actually happened to put a holy shield on me while I was like changing my armor and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and actually get rid of that, and then also put on a ruby lantern because I put one in my vault for my other slot, so I need to go equip that real quick. Alrighty, boys. Now that I've got everything sorted, let's go ahead and have a peek at the build. So for this build, we're going to be running full Abyssal set, because this armor is currently the best warrior armor in the game from my knowledge, but hey, let me know if I'm wrong. For the helmet, we're running Rune Golem, Mutated Frog, Dire Bear, Strength Rune. Chestplate, we're running Lobster, Mudcrab, and Hammerhead for the armor, and then Lycanthar, Braylor, Growthar for the damage. And if you're wondering why I'm running armor runes, it's not only to make up for Dullahan having the damage reduction passive, like it takes more damage, right? It's not only for that, it's for Swordmaster's passive, Bulwark's Might, which scales your strength based on your armor. And I think it's about 40 strength per 1,000 armor, so it's definitely a noticeable bit. And then for the boots, we're going to be running Mammoth, Snowman, Bear, and Hill Troll. I believe that this is the best combo that you can have on a warrior period, no matter what class you're going. But hey, let me know down below if you have a better combo for boots, because this is like the best one I could come up with. And then for the weapons, we're running Runic Cutlass and Viridian, and the runes on these are going to be Iskale, Yeti, and Goblin King. And before you go oh my god, Iskale and Yeti rune, impossible to get. These are actually obscenely easy to get now because people are trading them for way lower prices. I literally traded 12 gold for, I think, 2 Yeti runes, and then I traded, I think 75 gold for 3 Iskales, which I think I low-key got ripped off, but hey, that's saying something. You can get these runes for a lot cheaper than you might think. But yeah, we're running Runic Cutlass because it has insane stats, and then we're running Viridian for the passive because we would just run double Runic Cutlass, honestly. But Viridian, we do want that sweet 5% damage increase per M1, and then it has the stacking debuff up to 25%. So you're going to be doing more damage per hit as you stack up with the Viridian passive. And then for the rings, you might be wondering, oh my god, no words. How do you have 4 faction rings? How is this possible? Basically, before the update, this build was created. I started it and I was level 9 or something, and I had Shadowband and Doomband equipped, and lo and behold, the update drops and I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I joined Holy Sect and had my friend trade me some rings. Hey, guess what? You're able to equip 4 faction rings, boys. A total of 48 strength, 48 agility, 20 spirit, and 32 stamina just off rings alone makes this build even stronger. And not only that, of course, you're going to want the Ruby Lantern, and I don't have a Golden Fairy equipped just because it kind of takes up space when I'm recording. But yeah, that's basically the full build, and of course, yeah, you're going to want that Golden Fairy. But hey, enough talk. Let's go ahead and get into a showcase of the damage. And what better place to showcase damage than the Coliseum? Okay, boys, I don't want you to get too alarmed by this damage, but we're going to go ahead and pop Death Imbue here, and I'm kind of just going to go through this first phase pretty lightly. And as you can see, the Severed Sight doing a little bit more damage than earlier. Like I said, it scales with M1s. But yeah, this first phase, I'm really not trying at all here. We're kind of just getting into second phase just so I can basically make his health bar disappear and show you guys how good Swordmaster actually is. So yeah, flicker counter here, and there it is. Mortal Strike, and yep. So as you can see, his health bar kind of just disappeared there. Here's another example of what it looks like if I just use the basically main combo of just Mortal Strike and Flicker Strike. So yeah, 9 bars of damage, as you can see. Hey, fair damage, right, boys? Fair damage? I would say so. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and just transfer into some PvP gameplay so you guys can see what it looks like when this build is actually in action against other players. So yeah, enjoy, boys.
Cryptic. No.
Alrighty, boys, well, now that you've seen all that, I think that you guys should be in the same headspace as me that we've been sleeping on Dullahan, bro. We've been sleeping on this race. This race is actually good. Especially with this rework / buff, whatever you want to call it. Bro, this race is actually good now. I'm actually really happy with this. And I'm sure it'll probably even get, more shadow buffs because it's been shadow buffed multiple times. But anyways, boys, if you enjoyed the video, thank you so much for watching. And, hey, drop a like, drop a subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, anyways, we're just waiting on this Runeslayer update, guys. I don't know where this update's at. It should be soon. Should be, I mean, within a day or two, I would assume. But hey, we're gonna have to wait and see on that. I will be definitely streaming when it's getting closer to that update coming out if we get like an announcement or something. Otherwise, I'll probably stream sometime in the next day or two because I do want to do some striker prog as there is going to be some new gauntlets that get dropped. But yeah, all in all, boys, appreciate y'all for watching. And until next time, no words out. Peace.